Okay.
Alright guys, welcome to the inaugural TechnoCola podcast. Hopefully this is going to be a podcast where we talk about tech and don't get too sidetracked. It'll be a hopefully weekly podcast with possibly different guest stars every single week. Today we have me, obviously, and we have Gaurav Patel. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi guys.
And we have Brandon Wolf.
Hello.
So I figured we'd go ahead and just start off. If you guys want to give a 30-second intro to maybe your setup or something about you, just keep it short. But anything you want to say. Gaurav, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. All right. As Gotham introduced me, my name's Gaurav Patel. I go to the University of Cincinnati. For my setup, I'm doing this all on my laptop because my desktop doesn't have a webcam. But I like my desktop a lot more, so I'm going to talk about that. It's an i5 4690K that I use for gaming, and it's running a GTX 960. That's about it.
That's all you need, I guess, right?
That's all you need
in a computer.
Yeah, really.
All right, go ahead, Brandon.
All right, so I'm pretty much exactly the same as Goro, except I'm running a 970 instead of a 960. I'm Brandon Wolf, going to UC, and I've got a 4690K as well, and I'm doing this on my laptop because I don't have a webcam for my desktop yet.
There you go. As far as my setup goes, there's going to be a video out on that, so I'm going to go ahead and keep my mouth shut on that guy. I guess we'll just go ahead and get into the topics here. So, first topic of the day, the last version of Windows. This link, I went and found a link to this topic on Ars Technica. So basically, the premise of the idea is Windows, or Microsoft, is going to go ahead and pull an Apple here, is what I'm getting from this. I guess what Apple did, they went through and had multiple different versions of their OS, desktop OS, till they hit OS 10. And since then, they've kind of just stuck with the 10 moniker and then just incremented the digits after the decimal point with different cat names, big cat names, until they ran out of cats. And then they started off with what was it, like big names in California or places of influence in California. So I'm guessing, I'm guessing what Windows is going to be doing is sticking with the 10 moniker and then just incrementing updates through that. I guess also kind of how Chrome operates, in that you never ever see or have to update
Updates.
Chrome.
Yeah,
it's just in the background.
Well, that'd be good, It's like the biggest issue with Windows is when it has to shut down and update, when you're in the middle of something. But
Right.
So all these Windows updates will finally be useful, it seems.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if they just change it to Windows. I think they're trying to go for a simpler
I
branding.
think Windows is too generic.
It might be, but
Windows 10 sounds like something. Windows,
yeah.
in my house
That's
has
true.
Windows.
But like they're trying to do the whole like unification of everything, because they've had a bunch of different stuff. There's Windows 8, Windows Phone 8, Windows Phone 8.1, Windows RT, and now they're just doing all of it.
Yeah.
Talking about
Windows
that,
10. Yeah.
do you think they're going to start rolling out Windows 10 on multi-platforms? Because it sounds like that's what they want to push everything
There's
towards.
already a preview for some Windows phones for Windows 10.
Yeah?
And I hear
Does it resemble the desktop? I'm assuming it's...
Actually, I think I want to say it was Continuum is what could do it. I don't know. I haven't used Windows 10. I don't have a Windows phone anymore. But you can use your Windows phone as a desktop, which is interesting.
And it's separate from like an actual desktop. It's like an emulation sort of.
Yeah,
right?
And it's all like they're trying to make their entire ecosystem this like connected, I guess, with the universal apps and the just Windows 10 name.
Right.
I'm glad they got rid of RT.
RT was a
Surface.
disaster.
Oh, it was. I have a Surface RT sitting back on the floor that I literally haven't touched since like a month after I got it.
Yeah.
But I hear that the Surface 3 is actually fantastic.
I think my brother has one, and it's pretty sweet, except for like the heat issues.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected when you try and put a laptop in something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put a laptop in something so small.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm glad people are starting to realize that it's, a
Right.
laptop and not
Oh yeah.
an iPad. That bothers me so much.
You always
Yeah.
get those people that,
To no
that see
end.
any tablet and call it an iPad.
ESPN did
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Microsoft paid them to have Surfaces on their desks,
Right.
and they called them iPads.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That must not have gone over well.
No, I don't think it did.
We want our Surfaces back.
Right. Well, so another thing that I'm guessing is going to come out of this this Windows 10 end of all Windows is fragmentation, because you used to have to pay. Obviously, I mean they'd always run a deal on upgrades, but you'd always have to pay in between big step up, like 7 to 8. Then again, I think the upgrade to 8 was free, right? For most.
It was
I think
discounted.
$15.
I wanna say it was like 20-ish
Right.
bucks.
Right.
It was
Like, I was
significantly
working-
cheaper.
I was working at Staples, I think, when that whole thing was going down one summer.
Yeah.
And people kept coming in, and it's like, oh, can I get this upgrade disc? And it's like, you don't really need an upgrade disc. Just go to their website.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $14, $15.
Yeah.
Do they still sell discs for computers at this point? For anything?
Yeah.
I don't.
When I-
do. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, for this
I don't
build-
go into physical stores besides Micro Center ever.
I used the college bookstores a lot. For this build, I went and got the discs. But honestly, you just go online, you find what you need, you download it.
Right.
Yeah.
So for Windows, I put Windows 8 on this desktop,
Right.
and I just used a bootable USB drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what
And
I did.
all I needed from the CD, I didn't even open the packaging. I just looked it on the back, and it had the
Yeah, the code.
code on the back.
Right.
I don't even. Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, if they had just given me a flash drive, it would have been so much easier.
Yeah. There is something, either it's reminiscent, or maybe I just like having CDs.
Nostalgia?
Yeah,
Nostalgia?
nostalgia. That's the word I was looking for. There's something nice about throwing a CD into a computer and installing it. It's I don't know.
I don't think
Well,
there's
see-
a CD drive in my house.
Really?
Besides our
The
Xbox.
problem with my
Yeah.
desktop is I'm using a NZXT S340,
Ooh, man.
and it doesn't have a CD drive.
It
I
doesn't.
want
I can't-
that case so
I can't
badly.
do CDs unless I bought a external writer.
Yeah.
And I like it because it makes the thing lighter. It's so nice. It makes me so happy.
I think the draw. Well, I mean, even if the case doesn't have a CD drive, usually they put in.
Yeah, you can you can buy one.
Well, not a CD drive necessarily, but I know that they make like card readers, like SD card readers, and there's just a block that you just throw in there, and it's just multiple.
No, yeah, that all goes into. I guess I should. Let me rephrase. My desktop doesn't have any base space, anything for anything 3.5
I didn't
inch.
realize that the S340.
Wow.
Wait, really?
There's no 3.5
Not even
inch bay.
an HDD.
What? No, there's a hard drive. Those are 2.5 inch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, usually on the front of the cases there'll be a 3.5 inch bay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm
next
looking at-
week we can start reviewing cases and what we like
Yeah.
about.
I'm actually
But,
really interested in the S340. It's between that and the Define R5 for me.
Okay, no, that's what it was for me too. I waited a long time,
Hmm.
but I just liked this one's price point and everything so much better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the price point's kind of nice.
I have not regretted having it.
What color do you have it in?
I got the black and red,
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
man.
That's a
and
good
it
one.
goes perfectly with all the MS. I got a MSI gaming board.
Yeah, I need to get an
I got
MSI gaming board because my
It-
board is
it all
blue, but my graphics card is bright red.
So you have that ASRock, 4000 something.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
figures that we'd start talking about Windows and go into
Yeah.
builds.
Well,
Like
Windows.
cases, that makes.
They go hand in hand, right?
That's true.
True.
I mean, more so than Mac OS.
But yeah, well, I wanted to build a Hackintosh, but I don't know.
Yeah, my uncle's got a few. He's really big
A
into
few. Wow.
He's got 6 or 7 different computers in his basement. He just
But 6 or 7 Hackintoshes are
no, he's got. I don't know if he still uses it, but he used to have at least one.
Okay. I
But
was going to
he's-
say 6 or 7
he-
Hackintoshes. That's
He, my dad, and I are all the giant computer nerds in our family, and he's the Mac guy. My dad's
mean-
the Microsoft guy, obviously, and I'm just
building
sort of
a Hackintosh nowadays shouldn't be difficult, except that you have to source exactly the right part.
And on top of that, if any updates come through, you can't just update. You have to wait for the support. I mean, granted, I'm not gonna complain about people taking forever to support the hardware, but you have to wait for updates. You have to wait for somebody to fix the update for your system, which can take
That's true.
a while.
Yeah.
But you win some, you lose some. In any case, I guess moving on to the next topic, the Ubuntu drone. I don't even know where to start on this.
Drones are so cool, man. One of my friends from high school, I just saw him a couple of days ago. He's building his own drone.
Yeah.
Like it is a quadcopter in his bedroom, and he actually just finished it like yesterday and like posted a bunch of pictures that he took from above his house. But like, I love how like open source, I guess, like how open I guess it is.
Right.
Like
See,
I get the. Sorry.
I think the idea of a drone in itself is great. I mean, putting a camera on it's even better. But like this Ubuntu thing, I mean, okay, fine. I think it's fairly obvious that there's a lot of hardware and mostly software that are controlling these drones. But for some reason, I get this really weird feeling about putting like a widely accessible software on a drone. I feel like it...
Yeah, I get that.
Granted,
Well,
go ahead.
It's sort of its own thing, it looks like, though. It's like snappy or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was reading online recently. There's a new drone. I can't remember the name. Let me find it. But
The Ellie.
that's
Lily.
one.
Lily. The Lily? Yeah,
Lily.
that was
I
pretty
actually
cool.
had
You
that
posted
next
that
out.
on her.
Yeah.
It follows you, which I think is just a testament to how innovative open source, kind of crowdsourcing technology can be.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of people I know have built their own drones. One guy I know 3D printed one, and is testing like stability and stuff like that.
Right.
I've been meaning to build one. It's kind of expensive, and I decided to build a desktop first.
They're outrageously cheap compared to buying like a DJI, like an all-in-one built, ready to go.
Well, generally speaking, unless you spend the same amount of money that you would spend on a DJI to build your own,
right.
you're never. Well, I don't want to say you're never. You're not going to get the same quote-unquote performance.
Right.
You can build a fantastic drone for like $1,000. You can build really, really nice drones for even less.
Yeah.
But for somebody, like for a DJ, right, I assume that's what the DJI was kind of going after.
Really?
If you're somebody who just wants something that you can snap a GoPro to and have it take off straight from the box, you're not going to get any better than something that somebody else has made for you.
Right.
Unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
So,
I've never even heard of the DJI.
Really?
They came out.
The
They came out
Phantoms?
with this.
The DJI Phantom, the
Yeah, no, I'm
Spire?
looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Phantom looks freaking crazy.
Yeah.
There's a new one. They came out with
the
this.
professional, right? Advanced or professional version of the Phantom 3. That was the new
No, let me look it up. The Inspire. That thing looks like. Do you guys remember that Oblivion movie with Tom Cruise?
I never saw
It
that.
was terrible and it was great at the same time.
Yeah.
This thing looks like something that comes from the future,
Oh,
and
it's got a 4K camera.
Yeah.
it made me so happy when I saw it. And then the price.
And then the price kills your dreams.
It was just. It made me equally as sad.
There's the price on this.
It's like $4,000, I think, last time I checked.
Ridiculous.
Oh,
It's ridiculous.
man.
The technology is there, which means that if you really want this thing for less than $4,000,
Right.
you can try and make it yourself.
Yeah.
And it's completely possible. It's just you got to be a lot smarter than I am.
Well, the thing about DJI is they pull the Apple approach and they make things so simple that anybody can do it. And I think that's what is really going to have to happen for drones to be able to get out into the consumer space, because there's tons of websites where you can go and download the software for a drone and buy the components and whatnot, but you're not going to get the same build quality. You're not going to get the same type of control that you're going to get from DJI.
I mean, I've bought so many cheap little, toy drones.
Yeah.
My brother used to have one of those AR parrot drones, like the first generation. He gave it to me.
Bad choice.
And no, I mean, he got it a while ago. He was young.
Okay.
It was it was a toy to him back then. So he waited a while and he got it.
Yeah.
And the problem with it is if you're not really good at flying drones, like the first few toy drones I got, the first one, I remember I opened it up, charged it up, turned it on, and I throttled so hard that it literally went up and smashed into the ceiling. The rotors kept spinning, so when it fell down, there was paint all over the rotors.
Geez.
Oh God.
Yeah, my parents weren't pleased about that, but
That's why the Lily's kind of cool, though, right? It's like automated.
the Lily, I don't see application yet.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that it has more.
I mean, really, the only thing they showed it with was like skiing, and I guess
snowboarder.
And like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, like, you don't want to be walking down the street and have a drone following you.
Yeah.
Not right now. Like, that's going to freak some other people out.
I think it's great for sports, but I don't see an application other than that. You're not going to get good, like if you're a videographer,
stable
you're
picture.
Actually, I think that the Lily could have like an awesome application in like football, you know, like following somebody just running down the field. But outside of that, people are going to be really...
Yeah. Even if you do like have an application like for football, you have to be wearing the wristband. There's a wristband with that module on it, so it's not like you're gonna have 100 of these or 100. It's not like you're gonna have like 20 of these like on the field with like each person having like. I feel like that could cause problems.
And I want to know if it can. What happens like, say you're doing something like you're on a bike race, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. You're dirt biking, mountain biking. You want this thing to follow you. One, how well can it avoid things like, trees, other, quote-unquote immovable objects?
Right.
And then, what if there are two people in the frame, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you wear the wristband for one.
Right.
But what if two people want to fly the drones?
Yep.
Like, two drones, one drone split between two people.
Yeah, I actually thought about the same thing, like if there's multiple drones in the same area.
I think at that time, it's all software, because I know a bunch of research is going on where you have swarms that are formation, that fly in formation. So, they go through they go through windows and things like that, and, organize themselves. But I don't think the Lily can do it straight off the bat. There's going to be a lot of software upgrades needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing about the Lily is that it's not even in production. There's a pre-order now for
$500,
and then it's
$9.99.
It's $9.99 next February, next year.
Yeah.
So even if you pre-order the thing now,
I just wonder what else is going to show up between now and then.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true.
So I think it's a great idea. I was actually introduced to this like.
I'm excited
2 days
people
ago.
are doing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it like hit.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't know. So someone at work.
It hit like 4 days ago.
Yeah. So someone at work sent me a link to this and said, "Hey, I know you were interested in getting a drone. This might be something interesting." And I saw it and I was like, "Wow, this is exactly what I wanted." Like,
it looks well done. Like, the body.
Yeah.
Looks. I appreciate that type of frame much more than like the Phantom from DJI.
Yeah.
But that's just to say that the Phantom is kind of older right now. It hasn't been revamped or anything.
It has. It was revamped a month ago, and there's a new one that's being released.
Really?
Yeah, there's a new one being released on the 25th. It's like, I think there's a Phantom 3 Advanced and a Phantom 3 Professional, something along those lines. One of them.
What about the Phantom 1 and 2?
I mean, those came out prior.
Years ago.
Yeah.
I can't even see them. Where are they?
But it's the Phantom. I think it's the Professional. I believe that's what it's called. It has the same 4K camera on the DJI.
I see it.
Everything is the same from what I can see, except the fact that I think you do get. I mean, this is me talking out my butt, so I'm guessing most of this is wrong. But I think you get more battery life out of the Inspire, and you can control. I know for a fact, you can have two controllers on the Inspire, where one person controls the drone, the other person controls the camera.
That's actually really
I don't think you get that functionality out of the Phantom Advance. But
I literally just looked up the new Phantoms, and what I was speaking to earlier was the design itself, not so much the capabilities or the components inside of it, but the shape of the Phantom. While it is pretty practical, I guess, for manufacturing one standard shape that works relatively well, the Lily offers something that I think is much more aesthetically pleasing.
Yes. Yeah.
Which may be because of building up on progress that people have made for drones.
No, I agree completely.
Yeah. Although the Lily, the tracking thing is pretty huge on your wrist.
It's big.
Well, I mean, you can't expect anything for the first. I'm pretty sure
I
this
know,
is the
I get
first
that.
commercial drone that's going to be following you around.
Either that or
Maybe
the guy
just-
in the picture has like little bird wrists.
Yeah, that's true.
It does. It should be. I wouldn't mind it being big because if it's bigger, it just means they have more capability to put in a more powerful tracking antenna or whatever they need in there.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, honestly, it could take up half my wrist, and I wouldn't be too upset, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like your whole wrist is what it's looking like on the.
It's
On
pretty
its wire.
big. Yeah.
It's,
I mean, I
it's-
have pretty big arms, I would say.
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like it's like
I
a
mean,
solid
just-
like 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. I don't know.
Is-
It has dimensions.
Is the Lily something you guys think that you would use?
No,
Would you
I mean,
buy?
I longboard, so like if I started doing like downhill, I can see that being way easier than a GoPro.
Right.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think
so,
it
yeah,
would be
probably.
interesting if, I mean, I don't have any reason to buy it personally,
Mhm.
not yet, but I think it would be interesting if I could use it, say, rent it from a ski lodge
Yes.
on the day I
Yeah,
go skiing.
that would actually be an
That would be
amazing.
great.
Or like if my family is going, or it'd be really cool. So this system works based off of some sort of wrist transponder, right?
Mhm.
So you have your main one on your wrist. It's kind of clunky, but you buy these tinier, smaller ones that act as homing beacons, yeah?
Okay.
And you go to the water park and you strap a couple on your kids.
Okay,
So,
so
they
it
can go
yeah,
wherever
it could
they
like
want.
Yeah.
And
you
then
keep an eye on
fly.
them.
You don't necessarily have to follow them, but even like just for emergency situations, if you can't find them, instead of screaming bloody murder throughout an entire water park, you just go to your locker, pull out this thing, and have it go find your kid.
Mhm.
it's very
That's,
bad.
that's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, and you would get a video. That's another thing. I know that on the DJI Phantoms, we've been talking about them a lot, but they have, not a sponsor by the way, though I wouldn't be opposed to that idea.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that they have, at least on the newer ones, you have your iPad or your iPhone or Android device as a display, so you can kind of control it and see the video feed through your device. I wonder if the Lily offers that same functionality, though.
It probably does, because that is also what the first generation and I think the newest generation of the AR drones from Parrot did.
Yeah,
I used to use my iPad
yeah,
as the go-in between, and it would show up all cameras on my iPad. I'd control it from my iPad, kind of like a video game.
right.
And it would kind of be silly for this thing to have a separate remote when it's already running off of some sort of Bluetooth
Yeah.
or radio-based control system.
I just don't know what the application would be, because this seems like a sports type device. It
Well,
doesn't
isn't that
seem-
enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, sports
why,
is
why
a
would you use it though?
huge industry.
Like I
I
feel
mean,
like
I feel like the individual, like
Maybe not.
person
Yeah.
probably won't, but I
Yeah.
can see like the NFL buying these. And,
oh yeah.
I could see if you built a bigger one that was a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, more
Mm-hmm.
robust. We have the technology, we can build it. You could put it in a car, and like for rally racing or something like that,
yeah.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, I don't. I mean, I haven't.
Maybe not yet,
I
considering
haven't
it's
watched the
probably not
video.
even built yet.
Like, I don't know how like agile it is.
Right.
For
Right.
something like rally racing, because it'll probably have to avoid like trees.
Well, no.
and
What I'm
obstacles
saying
and
is,
stuff
you
as well.
build you build a bigger one, something faster, stronger
Okay.
than this thing that can fit in your backpack.
hmm
But this is the beginning. I'm looking at their kind of starter website, and it says its max speed is 25 miles per hour
Oh yeah.
with a
So not
max
really.
altitude, a max altitude at about 50 feet.
Right.
So this could be cool if you're doing a marathon and
Yeah.
you have they usually have like a lead car and a trailing car.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a couple runners who decide to wear one, or
I want to know
Something
how
like that.
long it can fly for.
I think it's like
If it's doing, like-
20-ish minutes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
20
so
minutes
for,
of flight
for a
time.
marathon. You
Oh,
could
yeah.
get like a highlights
Yeah.
reel, but
That'd be sweet.
I don't know of anybody who can run 26 miles in 20 minutes.
I don't know if that's even possible. Then again.
No, the fastest
I
one
know?
alive is like
Yeah.
27 miles an hour.
Oh, no.
So
In any case, let's go ahead.
Next
and-
topic.
Yeah. we talked for a good bit on this.
So we know what we want to talk about next time, right?
Exactly, exactly. Let's go ahead and skip over the next topic that we have here, and we'll go down to the next one down. Verizon acquiring AOL. I am
Ooh.
tired of this ISP thing.
Didn't I just... Yeah, I mean, Comcast and Time Warner, now
Yeah.
Verizon and AOL, and
Well, here's the thing.
it's
Do
all
you-
a shit show.
Do you know anyone that uses AOL? Do you?
No, but I've read that, like, they're still making, like, I want to say a couple billion a year on, like, old people who are still using, like, dial-up because they don't know anything better.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
they're... I guess it technically isn't dishonest, but, like,
No.
it's just, you know, they
I
don't...
mean, I think
people who
we can
don't know better.
I think we can all agree that ISPs are not generally in it for the customer.
No.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
So anything
I mean-
that I would say they would do that seems too good to be true probably is,
Mhm.
and you're taking it with kind of a massive grain of salt. Anything
it's like a whole shaker full.
I don't really have problems with any of the ISPs that I've ever used, mainly because I don't create issues for myself. You know, I kind of call ahead of time, be like, when can I cancel my subscription? Give me
Yeah.
the exact date. Then on that date, I call them and I'm like, hey, I want to cancel. And it goes to plan. And then you get some, you know, I would say less reasonable people
Mhm.
who kind of expect this big multi-million, billion-dollar company to do something special for them.
Right.
And it's like, one, you're really not worth it to them.
Yeah,
And two, they don't care.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
if they,
I-
sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, for me, like, the biggest thing was, like, when Verizon was throttling traffic specifically to, like,
God.
certain websites.
Yeah.
That's, like, I don't, like, I think it's more, I mean, the big net neutrality issue with them was treating
Right.
all, like, websites equally rather than their customers, you know?
And it's all about the money.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it always is about. But here's the thing with this Verizon AOL thing. I don't think Verizon's looking for I mean AOL. I think what are they now, like ad based and like an ad streaming company?
I mean, they own, like, what, Huffington Post?
Yeah. But I don't think they're like the whole Time Warner Comcast deal. There was a clear motive behind that.
Yeah, that's true. They
were looking
like, they
for straight
share
money.
a lot of,
Yeah.
yeah.
But this Verizon thing, it like I mean, bit of history here. Earlier in the year, Verizon denied the idea that they would buy AOL and said that they were more likely to form a partnership with them, and we saw how well that worked out.
Yeah.
But it looks like, as far as what happens to AOL now, their CEO and chairman, they're staying where they are. Everything's going to run the same, kind of how when Google bought Motorola, nothing really changed. There was a little shuffling of jobs and whatnot, but everything basically ran the same, and Motorola ran independent of Google, and it seems that in the same way, AOL is running independent of Verizon. I think the only thing Verizon's getting here is IP or some sort of like back end something. They're not really taking AOL
really,
for its parts.
yeah, really just the money that they can make
Yeah.
with it. I mean, Reddit, you know, freaked the fuck out.
As it always does.
Yeah, like the first mention of this, and
Yeah.
it's like, you know,
Well,
'cause
you
it's
know.
like they own Engadget, TechCrunch, and Huffington Post.
Oh,
at
AOL
least.
owns all of them?
Yes. Yeah, it says it right in this Verge article.
Really?
And Verizon, I think, has a history of like silencing dissent on their
Their service or
their website. I forget what website it was that they what like journalism website they had, but it was they wouldn't allow like topics like net neutrality and stuff that, you know,
Really?
obviously they were working against the popular.
You know, I was watching TV the other day, and Verizon has
What?
this fantastic deal. You get unlimited, texts and calling, like we did in like 2008. They're bringing it back,
Yep.
Oh man!
and you get 10 whole gigabytes. I think the word they use is 10 gigantic or massive gigabytes for 4 people.
Like bigger than regular
10
gigabytes.
gigabytes from
Really? Because we
For
have
4
10
people?
gigabytes. That, I
Or
mean, it's better
eight.
than
No,
what
no.
my
But listen to
family
this.
has.
Listen to this. It's $80 a person.
Oh.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Hey,
Wow.
Gotham, how much is your unlimited data plan?
Never over 25 or 30, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I get up, well, fine. I get throttled at what, I don't even know. I think it's either 5 or 10 gigabytes, which, okay, fine, that's a big range.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I get throttled to down from, I'm on T-Mobile. I get
Yeah.
throttled from LTE down to I think 3G at that point.
Yeah.
But it's unlimited calling, unlimited messaging, and I do everything through Hangouts, which
Yeah.
basically means I have unlimited everything.
Yep.
Yep.
I will let me fix what I said. That was probably really wrong. I only have 100 minutes technically through the T-Mobile plan, but I have unlimited messaging. But by pairing that with Hangouts, I basically have unlimited everything, which is fantastic.
Yep. Basically, once you get that barrier to data down,
Yeah.
our phones nowadays can do anything with data that originally was the domain of the phone service carrier themselves.
Exactly. Yep.
And my family used to have Verizon. I loved Verizon. I'll be honest. They
Their
had
service
It's better than like
the
AT&T
best
for
service.
me.
Oh, yeah.
They had the best service, probably because they had the like. Now I'm speaking out of my butt here, but they had the least crowded kind of data sphere
Mm-hmm.
out of everyone else because they were just using a different carrier signal and all
Right.
that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, they're what, CDMA?
Mm-hmm.
What we used to have was like way back, in 2009 when high school started and all of that for us.
Jeez.
Way back in the day, we
Yeah,
we had
old.
unlimited data.
Yeah.
Right? We
And
got
that
the
was
unlimited
commonplace.
data plan.
That was
Yeah.
common.
Yeah,
we got the unlimited data from Verizon, and we carried it all the way through until about 2014, which is a very long time to stay with one company, but it's because no other company was really offering unlimited data like that,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody else was offering it at a competitive price.
Right.
What happened after that was that Verizon started edging out all of their unlimited customers, saying, hey, we'll give you 10 gigs of this per person, and we'll give you this or that, and your price won't change. And it's like, well, no, the price doesn't change, but what you're giving us changes a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's silly, because I cannot imagine that company needs to make much more money than it's been making.
No.
Well, the shareholders don't realize that, though, too. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
every publicly traded company is beholden to the shareholders, and they just want bigger profits every quarter.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle. The more money you want, just down the road, the crappier things are going to get.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think most people, I mean, granted, most people in the technology savvy universe is aware of Verizon and the kind of stuff that they pull to get money. But I feel like most people don't really see it that way. They see Verizon as a savior because of the fact that they have service everywhere. Like Verizon, hands down, will have service where others don't.
Oh, yeah.
And that's their strong point, and they market that so much to the point where people are, I'm guessing, willing to take a hit on data to keep
Or money,
signal.
whichever
Yeah.
comes first.
Right.
I think it's either going to get better with other companies.
Mhm.
Like, if luck is with us, Google's going to start selling data.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, Project Phi.
Project 5.
Well,
Or,
I don't know if I want Google doing everything, no.
I wouldn't mind it.
That scares me a lot.
As long as, they keep their heads about them.
Yeah.
If you see Google starting to become something more of a Verizon, which is, a very thin line, very easy line to cross,
Mhm.
if they haven't already,
Yeah, we don't know.
suddenly we're in more trouble than we started. Everybody has to go back to sending letters and stuff.
At the end of the day, Google they're an ad company. At the end of the
Basically.
day, like Project Phi, yeah, I guarantee you every single text you send, every single call you place, that sounds like a song. Everything that you do, they're using that information to basically give you ads, to tailor ads to you, which
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
mind. I would rather see ads about stuff that I've searched or stuff that I'm interested in than stuff that is random and out of the blue. So I personally don't mind the ads. Do I think they're a little excessive on some websites? Yes.
Very.
But I did something crazy about a week ago, and I turned off ad block. I
What?
know.
Oh,
I can't
no,
even
you
imagine.
didn't.
I did. I turned off ad block.
I've got
does the internet look
three
like?
ad blockers on right now.
It's surprisingly, it's not that bad. It's
Right.
you deal with a pop up every once in a while, but
Yeah.
everything else, as long as the website is smart about where they place them, everything just fades into the background.
That's true.
I'm fine with like you know the way AdBlock Plus started allowing like a few unobtrusive ads through.
Right.
I was fine with that. You know that I think that's actually a good thing because it's setting up
Yeah.
a new standard
Oh,
for
yeah.
ads instead of like the stupid like flashing pop-ups that you know just
You won a new car.
you're about to click on something and it pops up and you click on the ad.
I wouldn't
and-
mind an ad like that if it actually was true, though.
yeah, right.
See, I think that's one of the bigger problems. Like, if
They're all
Google sent me ads, I think, for the most part, they would be somewhat reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I could click on this ad for Amazon selling me headphones, which I've been searching for,
Yeah.
versus, hey, I could click on this ad that told me I was the 10,000th visitor to this site selling me a new car.
See,
You know what I'm saying?
I remember seeing a lot of those, like, again, like back in 2009, back in 2010, when, like, I for some reason I remember seeing those type of pop-ups a lot more then than I do now. Like, I haven't run into anything like that since. Granted, I've only been ad block free for 2 weeks, but there's not a lot of that crud around there anymore, which
Yeah,
is a
I think
plus.
people have, or
But
I
one-
think it's just started to evolve past that. You know, people are realizing that doesn't work
Yeah.
on anybody, but like, you know,
But the people on AOL's dial-up.
yeah, exactly. The people,
Yeah.
the
Honey, come
people
here.
for
we want
whom
a
it
new
takes
car.
an hour to load anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this whole Verizon AOL thing, it's kind of blown out of proportion. Like, I'm tired of people complaining about ISPs, and I would rather them take a step towards actually doing something about it than again
Yeah, I
posting
mean,
on Reddit. But
People are happy about the way that the FCC's been going about
Yes.
like reclassifying them as a utility or whatever,
yeah,
which is
Yeah,
nice.
I was actually pleasantly surprised when I
Yeah,
learned
it was
about
really
that.
interesting to see everyone on
didn't see that
Reddit just
coming.
doing
I
about
didn't see it,
face on
Yeah, it's like-
Tom Wheeler.
It's like, no, I've always been a fan. I was just
Yeah.
saying that because everybody else was.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
Jeez. Fun fact: Verizon bought AOL for $4.4 billion. A lot of
I don't
money.
even think I have $4.4.
Yeah, right. I think
Yeah.
Somebody needs to send me some zeros.
That's ridiculous. But again, this was off of the Verge article. That's $50 a share. I don't really know how much they're worth before or
I mean-
after, but
I kind of wonder, like, are people who've kept AOL's, shares,
Mhm.
are they kind of, cashing out right now, going out for expensive dinners because suddenly their shares are worth a lot more?
I don't know.
Or maybe did they go down and then Verizon swoops in? Because I have not been monitoring anything AOL for ever.
Yeah.
I honestly
forgot
I
the
didn't
name.
realize that they still existed until
Yeah.
a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I honestly thought AOL was probably just the CDs. Like, for a long time,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, haven't seen a CD in a while, so they're gone.
Do you guys remember AIM?
Oh, my
man, I used
God.
to use that so much.
That stupid
jeez.
thinking noise.
Before
Yeah.
before I got a webcam and video chats were
That was the
the
thing.
cool thing
Yeah.
for kids to do. I was on AIM all the time.
Oh man.
I still sometimes, like, if I get really, really bored, I'll go down on Facebook's history thing and start reading, the earliest texts and messages and stuff possible.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
On the and like somebody will be like, "Hey, do you have an AIM?" And I'll be like, "Oh no, I didn't."
Oh,
Did I?
jeez. Oh man. But yeah, $4.4 billion for AOL, for AOL from Verizon. I think looks like the last biggest purchase by Verizon ever was Vodafone for 130 billion.
I would like to be given that much money for a company.
Yeah,
It would be
but
holy crap, that's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money. In any case, that's Verizon buying AOL.
I mean, I suppose that's small money to them.
Oh, I'm sure it is. They make so much money.
Yeah.
All right, next subject.
up,
This one.
Yeah, Google shuts down MapMaker. Oh man! So
Yes.
when did this happen? Like a week?
I didn't
ago, 2
realize
weeks
that-
ago?
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was a thing. It was posted on 5 days ago.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize that the map editor was a thing.
I didn't know it was
until
a thing
this
either. Apparently, now I'm not versed in this, but apparently users can help Google update their maps by doing something or whatever. But what happened was somebody made a picture or posted a picture of the Android guy peeing on the Apple logo and put that on Google Maps.
Are you sure? Are you sure? It looks like he's watering an apple.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
he's just helping out.
you know,
He's
it's
just
gardening.
helping it grow. But yeah, I remember this blowing up. Actually, it was somebody on The Verge that tweeted this out that I saw. I think it was Nilay Patel. He tweeted out in the it was like 6 or 7 a.m. and he tweeted it out, and I was like, "There's no way this is true." And I went and looked at it, and it was there, and I was astounded. Like, as big as Google is, I'll give them some slack for you can't process everything, but that's a pretty big thing to
I
So I
think that's
wonder-
one of the things they bring up in the article.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have enough manpower
Right,
to monitor all, the stupid people.
right.
Well, I mean, it could be like a user moderated thing too. You know, you could have.
I feel like if people saw that, they'd push it through. I mean, who does it? Who
Yeah,
who wouldn't want to see that on Google Maps? But I don't know.
yeah, that's true. But,
I mean, personally, I think it's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's not something that I would do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, ha
Yeah.
ha ha ha. Like, I'd probably stop. I don't know. I don't think I would, quote unquote, approve of this.
right. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
and I mean, Google apologized for it. They did what
Yeah.
they had to do. They pulled it down, but I think the idea of MapMaker was great. I mean, they're able to get more input or whatever, but I
Yeah.
mean, you had to have seen this coming. Like, somebody was going to do something for this to happen. But on a somewhat side note, there was a couple Google employees that came to Ohio State. I think it was in the fall, this past fall, and one of the guys was a OSU grad, and he was on the Google Maps team, and he was telling us about how much data they basically just cycle through on a daily basis to update maps, and just how big of a taxing, I mean, like, computer-wise, it's super taxing to be able to go through and daily make these updates. So I can understand how difficult it must be, but I don't know. I guess it's over now, so it's not really worth worrying about it.
Whining about, yeah. I don't know. It takes like what, one guy to ruin it for hundreds of others,
Exactly.
or woman,
True. Yes.
Whoever did it.
Equality.
Whoever did it.
Equality. Yeah. All right. Our last official topic, and then I guess we have a wild card coming up later. Amazon delivery drone patent. The delivery drone patent from Amazon just got published, and it brings up a couple new features of the Amazon delivery drone. How many times can I say that? That we didn't know about before. Basically, big idea is you will have the ability to deliver to your location, not just your home. So if you're out camping somewhere, that could be pretty useful, I'm assuming. There's different sizes of drones depending on the size of the package that you are getting delivered to you. And they're also trying to incorporate some type of software to avoid hitting humans and animals.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Maybe Lily could use the same thing.
Exactly, yeah.
But
And then the last big feature was that they're using cameras and infrared for navigation, which I guess is somewhat of a given.
yeah.
But what do you guys think?
I like the thought that there will be like multiple sizes of drones, because at first I like the Prime Air commercial thing they put out.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, that's cool, but you'll only be able to get like tiny little things,
Right.
Like
Yeah,
if I like want a new, yeah, exactly. Like it's like it's convenient, it's nice, but
this might be.
I want to see a huge like 10-foot wide drone just come down in my front yard and just deliver like a new PC case or something.
I
Because
think
that would be amazing.
I don't think that's what they're going for, but I agree
I want it to be.
that would be super cool.
I think.
One of
Go ahead.
what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh crap! I forgot. No, I think one of the things I think would be really cool is if these drones... What am I saying? No, you made me completely forget what I wanted to say. I was excited.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
I'm going to go find out again. You say what you wanted to say.
I think that this would work great with what Amazon did on April Fool's. With I don't even know if that was an actual April Fool's thing, but you had those buttons where you could basically click a button.
That's what it was! Ah!
There you go.
Dang it, Gotham.
Go ahead. I'll let you take over.
No, you started. You go.
So basically, you could click a button and it would automatically make an Amazon order for a product. I think they limited it to.
It was
few
like
things.
Tide
Yeah.
and like Lysol wipes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon Click or something.
Something like that. And I think the timing was fantastic. They put that up on April Fool's, and they could have played it off as a joke. If it didn't go over well, and if it did, there you go. Come to think of it, did that ever get started?
Yeah, I think it's a thing now. It's Amazon Dash.
Amazon Dash.
I think it's in what would basically be a beta.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
it looks like they got popular brands like Bounty and I don't know. Looks like in the pictures it's like diapers and small boxed things.
This is not the same thing that they marketed before. Amazon
Yeah,
Dash.
but it's like getting like groceries and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what were you talking about then?
There was like a simple. It was like a one-click button for like
Yeah.
for Tide stuff. Where there was
That's what it is.
No, but it like maybe they just changed what it looked like, but it used to just be like one button and it would like hang next to like your washer or something.
Okay, so go to well, just Google it, Amazon Dash.
Amazon.com/dash.
And I mean, I'm looking at their website around it. It's straight up. It's like a one-button dongle. Looks like it's probably like
Well,
sticky
the one I'm
back.
looking at has two buttons.
Yeah, and it has like a voice input button too.
Yeah, it's got like a scanner button and a voice input button.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna shoot this over to you guys
Okay.
because here it's on the thing.
Beep. Amazon Dash button. Yeah, this is okay. So let me let me send you what I got here. Oh, it looks like it's a fresh.amazon.com. So I'm guessing that this is
Yeah, that's what I was
slightly different.
looking at.
That's the thing I was talking about. Like, you press this one button, you need some Tide,
Right.
and a drone from somewhere lifts off.
Yeah.
I don't know, goes to Walmart,
That
picks up
seems like
some Tide.
Yeah. Well, maybe not
just
go to
fresh
What they
Walmart.
would have done with
I'm
like
sure that they
like
did.
in partnership with P&G. It
Right.
looks like.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what I mean, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no,
But this,
yeah, it's
this
definitely a
fresh
joke.
thing,
But I think it definitely did inspire the Amazon Dash.
Right.
I think what this is kind of like, you know when you always hear people saying, oh, I wish I had a smart fridge. They would tell me if I'm low on milk or if I need to get, I don't know, more cheese.
Everyone
This is
needs
something that
cheese.
you walk through your house, you scan everything you have, and you tabulate it.
Yep.
It's nice, but I wouldn't
Does
want to
it-
pay money for it since I literally have a smartphone that takes, what, 10
Yeah, but
seconds
it-
more to type in
Yeah.
what I need?
Yeah, it schedules the delivery too, which is nice.
That's true.
It's, like it's from Amazon, I think, is where it gets delivered. You know, it's not
Right.
just like a glorified.
So it'll
shopping
probably be
list.
like Amazon in context with some local supplier.
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't-
no, it'll probably
Amazon-
like stop by like a Walmart or something, and
Yeah. Or distributor. Something
Yeah.
like
Some
that.
type of-
or maybe Amazon will just start carrying their own fruits and produce and stuff.
Amazon Farms.
Yeah, right.
The drones literally pick from the tomato fields
Oh.
and
They'll
then
just
fly
open a
to your
competing grocery
house.
store.
Oh, jeez. So
That would actually be awesome.
So this whole Amazon delivery thing, I was skeptical whether or not this would actually be possible because one, everybody right now, I mean most quote unquote normal people, they have this worry about drones flying all over the place, and I was skeptical about whether or not Amazon would be able to pull this off. But it looks like they applied for the patent, or they unveiled this idea of a drone in December of 2013. Submitted the patent in September of 2014, so a little under a year later, and then it just got published. So, I mean, the turnaround time wasn't that long for a patent. So, granted, it's a patent; it's not an unveiling of a final product or a final service. But I'm interested in how this is going to play off with
It's
normal
not.
people.
It's not so much the technology. You can, if you design a discrete drone,
Right.
like the ones they have in their videos, you can fly it high enough where it's not going to bother most people.
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like you might be able to hear the buzz of it, but for what? For maybe 30 seconds, it's not going to ruin your evening. The thing is, what you need to set up is infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, it's already hard enough to drive cars with other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But
You
that's
just,
where
you have
self-driving
some of
cars
those
come in.
drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
those are
And
going to
it'll all
cost,
be
you know,
perfect.
That's an entirely different.
yeah, that's a new
Oh,
ballpark.
God.
That's another
That's-
podcast.
Yeah.
That's a different sport.
That's a podcast in and of itself. Jesus.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is you have to set up an infrastructure similar to what aircraft fly in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a whole system of you know, what is my turning radius? What is my clearance level? I
Right.
need to know where other planes are, and they're still having trouble with that.
Right.
You know, as reference with, you know, previous aircraft, you know, accidents that have happened in the last few
Oh, yeah.
years. So what the good thing with drones is it's much easier because you can know where every single drone is.
Yeah.
Because drones, they literally have to always talk to you
Yeah.
if you tell
Yep.
them to.
Yep.
And I think that's where Amazon's going to have their biggest hurdle. It's going to be how do we get everything to work together,
Mm-hmm.
especially when nowadays you can have some, you know, 14-year-old kid who decided to skip school one day and play with his drone
Yep.
and decides to fly it straight up and, you know, coincidence makes it hit
Yeah.
somebody else's package and, you know,
Well, you have kids.
From there.
You have kids being dumb, and then you have people that I guarantee
Yeah.
you they're gonna shoot
You
it
have
down. They're gonna
assholes.
shoot it down.
yeah, they're going to try.
I thought I heard about some guy already shooting down a drone flying over his property.
And it's legal.
And like,
It's
yeah, no, it was.
completely
Yeah, I want to say it was like.
I wonder
they
how
couldn't afford it, it's
legal
fine.
it is depending on how high the drone is.
Well, regardless.
Yeah,
I
I-
mean, if
like-
I don't know how high.
if
property
like-
is.
if you're
it's
at your
ille-
house and you see a drone above you, I mean, would you be worried about security?
No.
No. But
I mean,
can
personally,
understand-
I would.
Right, but like I feel like normal people again, yeah, like you see something with a camera floating above your house, you're gonna be kind of freaked out by it.
Well, I think one of the things. Okay, so that we're getting into kind of politics now. Is
Yeah.
like, where do you draw the line
line?
between getting punished and, you know, being in your right to shoot down a drone? But it's kind of the same thing as like, okay, so somebody pulls up onto my driveway to back out of it, you know, go the other way. You know,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that. Somebody comes up onto your driveway and you're like, oh, holy crap, who is this?
Yeah. Yep.
Just because somebody pulls onto your driveway to back up and go the other way doesn't necessarily give you the right to run into your house, grab a gun, and shoot them.
True.
You know what I mean? Unless
Yes. Yes. You're right.
unless you seriously are either a little crazy or they just look menacing. You know?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to fire a warning shot at least.
Oh, do you?
I mean,
Is that-
I'm
You
pretty sure
might.
that's a thing.
I don't know. I've never had
I
to
don't know
shoot
much
anybody.
about gun laws, but
yeah.
I want to say
So-
that like a warning shot is a
unless
at least in Ohio maybe.
that's true. So say you know, let's just average it out and say most people live on a half-acre property, right?
Mhm.
You know, standard
In suburbia,
four-bedroom
yeah.
In suburbia.
suburban house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where this thing is most likely going to be clustered in a city, in suburbs. It's not probably going to be something for
Yeah, a very
you know, in the middle of, you know, God knows nowhere in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
So the thought becomes that how threatened are you that a drone flying at what, maybe 100, 200, 300 feet above you
Right.
has just crossed over your property for about 30 seconds?
Yeah.
It seems silly that you see it flying across and somehow you decide that that is a threat to you.
Yeah.
It's
And it-
almost like if a kid runs across your lawn looking for his soccer ball, is that a threat to you?
Right. But then I think that the whole threat thing also comes into these things are programmed. They're programmed to function the correct way. But what if something fails? What if they fall and they fall onto your property?
Okay, so if you look at the design of most drones that Amazon has put out,
Mhm.
you'll notice that they are either hex or quad,
Mhm.
or sorry, octorotors.
Okay.
And from, you know, I'm just starting aerospace engineering. I'm not trying to be like cocky or anything here, but like what I've learned about that is the reason they do that, not only for more power to be able to lift something heavier,
Mhm.
but you can lose like 2 engines on a, you know, 8-rotor drone,
Mhm.
and you still can have enough
Oh.
stability to at least land safely.
Gotcha.
You see what I mean? Like if you have a
Yeah.
4-rotor drone and one of them goes out,
You're kind of screwed.
you're kind of screwed, but I'm pretty sure you can make a safe landing.
Interesting.
A lot of these, I think, also are dual-sided. So you have one rotating on top, the other one's going the opposite way. Oh, I can't do this. You see what I mean?
Well, I mean, I can't see
You
you,
don't.
but yeah.
You don't. You don't see what I mean. But I think you kind of get the point where Amazon is obviously not going to be stupid enough to put something on the field in real life without extensive testing.
Right.
Simply because, you drop, like I said before, you drop toothpaste on somebody's head. They're not hurt, but suddenly your wallet's hurting because they've sued you for,
Yay, America.
You're right? Yay, America.
Yeah. And I mean, there's the whole, they're going to have to do extensive testing, and there's that whole hurdle. And then the biggest hurdle is going to be government.
I want to know how much it's going to cost for Prime Air. Because I just noticed in the video, at least, it's in this special little package that it can grab onto.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's got to cost significantly more than just a cardboard box, that can
It
just
might
be
actually.
Well,
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
might
and
be
like
reusable.
the guy kept it. Yeah.
That's
I
true.
think they're less. I think what they'll do is you're supposed to take the box out, and either the drone will leave or the drone will wait for the box.
In the video, at least, it left, but, that's a...
And then what they'll probably do is they'll put a mailing sticker on it where you just put it in the mail and it goes back to Amazon.
Yeah.
That's
Kind
a
of
good
like what
idea.
Netflix used to do. At the same time, you could design drones with just cages on the bottom.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
they
that's
don't
true.
have a box. These boxes, I think, are for visibility.
Yeah.
So the drone drops this package off, at your doorstep, and you can see it, as well as
Right.
weatherproofing and protection. But then I think as far as how they're going to charge it, it might be the same price or less. It's probably not going to be free,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're paying for like a Prime Air subscription,
Mhm.
and you want something every single day, which is kind of silly, but it's kind of going to
There's a
be
lot
something.
of toothpaste.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be cheaper because suddenly you're not relying on USPS, you're not relying on UPS
Yep.
or FedEx, and I think there's just a lot less people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly
That's
you
true.
don't need a driver necessarily in the way I see it happening, like from a warehouse.
Yeah.
Now, if they're
Taking all the jobs.
the drones are coming,
Yeah.
but if they have a driver with a truck and 8 drones on it, and somebody in the back just putting a package in each drone's carrier system while the drone recharges
Yeah.
as the truck is running, that's a different story. That might create more jobs. Who knows? Suddenly you're driving through a neighborhood and you don't have to stop at every single house
Right.
that has a package. You can drive between like 3 different neighborhoods slowly, and these drones will just run out, drop something off, come back, things like that.
Yeah. That's,
I think 2016 is going to be extremely interesting.
yeah, based off of their time frame, I mean, it looks like they're making progress. I don't know what they have in house, but I see it as I see a lot of gains to be made, but at the same time, there's a lot that is probably still gonna have to be done to get the general public okay with it, to get the government okay with it.
I think, as far as the general public goes, with most things, I don't want to be mean, but we're extremely apathetic. Like, you know what I mean? As far as, like, say, with all this ISP stuff that we've been talking about,
Mhm.
yeah, you're mad, but are
What
you
you
mad
do,
enough?
okay.
Are you mad enough to write a physical letter?
Right.
No, most people are just mad enough to post to Facebook like, "Oh, I hate Verizon," and then
Oh,
go watch
true.
Netflix or something.
True.
If you're really that upset
Netflix
about
on
having
your
a drone,
Throttled Verizon connection, yeah.
if you're really that upset about having a drone flying over your your property, there's probably going to be a way for you to tell Netflix, "Hey, no, thank you."
Yeah.
And then Netflix is going to say, "Okay, well, your domain, quote unquote, for your house extends, maybe 100 meters up in the air, 100 feet."
Do you mean
100 feet
Netflix
up.
or Amazon?
I mean Amazon.
Okay.
I-
You've been saying Netflix.
I don't know.
so
I
was
think
like,
Netflix is their physical DVD thing. Is that still a service that they offer?
It is. It is.
I think it's a
man.
separate
It does
service.
it.
But I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think that could use drones pretty easily.
That
I
could.
wouldn't be surprised since since Amazon patented their drones, Netflix would have to come up with their own thing. But
Yeah.
I'm sure they make enough money.
I mean, I don't know. Back to what I was saying is like, I don't know how high your right of domain kind of extends above your house. Like, if I own a farm,
Yeah.
I think there are specifics about it.
There are, yeah.
it might be that you can't video record somebody's house without their permission.
Yep.
It might be that you can't be hovering on their property, loitering, something like that. If they ask you to leave, you have to leave. But, I mean, what if you see a house, or if you see a plane fly over your house? That's clearly not going to be in your domain.
Right, right.
That plane is flying at 45,000 feet. Are you telling me you own 45,000 feet of air?
Right, right.
Right? I think it's kind of silly to say, like, okay, this drone is flying at 500 feet above my house. I pay for that. No, you don't. You don't pay 500 feet above your house.
That's very true.
I mean, that's what it looks like, actually. The figure I'm finding is 500 feet.
Oh, there's a thing?
I mean, I don't know if
rule.
it's a reputable source, but that's like that's the first thing that came up when I searched for it.
I'm pretty sure Amazon probably has somebody who knows more about this than we do.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely sure
Probably.
that there's somebody whose job it is to make sure that they, aren't gonna get sued for
That's
flying
true.
over a person's house.
And I want to meet the person who's good enough to shoot a drone moving at... Well, okay, so that Lily drone said it could move at 25 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with a camera aboard and, going slow to take great pictures.
Right.
The Amazon drone isn't really out for the scenery.
Yeah,
It is out for fast delivery, so maybe we could even ballpark it at being able to move at 50.
yeah. It depends. I bet you it
It's
depends on the
fast,
weight of the package.
I'm gonna say 50 miles an hour is gonna
50?
be the upper limit
Okay.
of any drone.
Yeah, that'd
they
be
send they can
definitely
fly.
be a high estimate.
And the only reason I want to say that is because I don't know, so I don't want to limit them.
anything about drones at all.
Well, no, I don't know what their specifications will be with the FAA, like if they're going to
Right.
have speed restrictions or something like that to, not scare the crap out of somebody who sees a drone
That would
flying.
be pretty terrifying. Just like a 50
Right?
mile an hour drone just fly over your house.
But at the same time, I don't want to say that, this drone can only go 30 miles an hour if it's allowed to go much more.
Right.
I'd rather go
Right.
higher and have it go slower than, kind of estimate a low
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, I bet you 50. I mean, like right now, since drone technology is just now getting big, it seems a little unrealistic. But I bet you in a couple of years, at the rate that
for sure.
we've just been developing new technologies, 50 is going to be completely believable.
Yeah.
So I just Googled fastest drone, and there's this quadcopter Kickstarter. It's not something I think that it's called the X+1,
The X+1.
like capital X then plus.
Yeah, I see it.
It's not. It doesn't look like something that will carry a payload. It
60
looks like
miles
it's
an hour though.
60 miles an hour. So that is designed for speed.
For 15 minutes, so that's
That's
that
pretty
drone.
good, actually.
That
50,
drone is-
15 miles.
But if you look,
Basically.
it's got wing surfaces. This drone isn't
Yeah.
designed to fly straight up and down like standard drones. I think
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
it looks like it's designed to fly kind of like a Star
It looks
Wars,
kind of
That's
like
what I was
a
gonna say.
propeller plane.
X-Fighter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 50 miles an hour I think is a reasonable high-end, top-end estimate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think it's going to be going too quick for you to really even have time to whine about it.
Right. Right. And I think
don't know.
that's a
I'd never underestimate people's ability to bitch and moan about stuff.
Oh, they will try, but I don't think they'll have any grounds. Like, ma'am, how long did this drone?
Yeah,
end
like
up
it has to be on
30
your property
seconds?
for over a couple of seconds.
yeah.
So you're gonna see some old dude and his wife in court. Oh, these drones. Okay, so it's like, how long was this thing over your property? I don't know, like a minute, not even a minute, probably
But it
like 10
bothered me.
seconds. 10 seconds of my life was bothered me enough to make me bother you. Then you go bother Amazon.
And how would like a drone really bother people that much?
I
How would it
think
bother you more than
they
a
are
I
noisy.
think it's the
Yeah, those
they're,
things
they're
are-
noisy, and I
Yeah,
think
so are planes though. I can hear
Well,
plane. I live
planes fly
like I lived a mile away from train tracks and a highway. Is a drone going to be more noisy than that?
drones have a whining noise,
yeah.
and they're low enough that they're more easily discernible than an aircraft flying at 40, 50, 60,000 feet.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're only noisy, I think, if you have nothing else going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if I had my headphones on and I was, mowing the lawn, guarantee you I would
You
not
wouldn't
notice
hear
it.
Oh yeah.
In any case.
Like, I mean, I get that they're louder than, like, birds and stuff that, like, also fly over your property, but...
So you wake up in the morning and the first thing you hear is drones.
Yeah, no, I
wouldn't mind that. I'd
pretty
be okay
crowded
with that.
neighborhood.
That's the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a side note, I'm tired of this one moniker. The X plus
What?
1, the 1 plus 1, the HTC One. We need to
Xbox
stop.
One.
Yeah, just stop. Stop with the 1.
So you want the one to end them all?
Yes,
Yes.
that's it.
I like it. I
One
like the
to
one.
rule them all.
I think it's a great. It has a good feeling to it. But I'm just
I think
tired
that's
of
what
it.
It's just annoying
I
because they're
agree.
all using
Yes.
the same branding.
I like calling my. I have the one M8
Mhm.
from HTC, and I like saying, oh, I have the one, but at the same time, yeah, it's like I don't want my laptop to also
Yeah,
be
but the one
Dell
what?
one.
The one
but-
M7, one
but-
M8, one M9.
But I have the 1 too. I have the 1 plus 1.
yeah.
So that's the
I
that's
have
the
the
name
2.
of your phone.
Yeah.
That's your name of the phone. You have the 2
Yeah.
No,
I've
I have
got
the
a-
1.
plus
Next-
1.
1 plus 1. No, 1
That's
plus
the
One
full
is
plus
the
is the
brand
company.
name.
Yeah, 1
And
plus is the
1
company.
is the model.
Okay, so I would say the HTC M8 or HTC One 8,
You'd see the
1 M8.
Yeah, you'd see the 1 M8. I'm just the
So
1.
you have to say the 1 plus 1.
No.
Yeah. If I have to say HTC, you have to say 1 plus 1.
And, well, I mean, you don't have to say the Microsoft Xbox One.
Oh,
I'd say
that
Xbox.
one too.
Yeah, but Xbox isn't the company. Xbox is.
Well, you know what this is kind of reminds me of? It's like, do you say soda pop? Do you say cola?
Say soda.
See,
I
when
think
people
so, too.
ask me that, all I say exactly what I want. I don't say, can I have a soda? I say, can I have a Dr. Pepper? Can I
Yeah.
have a
Well, I
Fanta?
mean, it's more like if you're at a restaurant and you're like, "What kind of sodas do you have?" You know, because I mean, I don't call all of them the same thing either. But
I just
like
Those are
that's
great
just
for
kind of
food.
what I feel like this is. It's semantics, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
it is.
oh, what do we call it? We have to call it something cool.
It's called the 1.
The
one.
one.
Well, did you hear that rumor before the Xbox One came out that it was going to be called like the Xbox Infinity or something?
The 720.
That would have been dumb.
Yeah. On a side note, I loved how we brought that back to soda, just for the name of this podcast.
There you go.
All right.
Oh,
Last,
I didn't even remember that.
yeah,
I'm
there
Yeah,
you go.
TechnoCola.
There you go.
TechnoCola. All right.
You're welcome.
Last topic of the day. I'm going to call these the wild card topics because we don't really have an article for them, but just something that I thought would be interesting to talk about. The abundance of smart devices, ranging from watches, from I don't know. I guess you could call some fridges are smart devices. The Nest thermostat is a smart device. Basically, lifestyle.
Drop cam.
Drop cam, yeah, but like lifestyle type smart devices. I guess we can start off with watches because, God forbid, I mention the name Apple Watch anywhere.
Oh, boo, boo.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to school for a semester, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, but let me start off. Let me show you this. This
Okay.
is my watch, right?
Okay. What is
Let
it?
me,
I can't
let
see.
me hide that. Let me hide that in case
kind of
we
watch
get
is it?
sued. It's a G-Shock, right?
Okay.
I have had this thing since like freshman year of high school.
Mhm.
That is almost 10 years
Mhm.
for us. 10 years.
Yeah.
And it still runs. I have changed the battery out maybe twice.
Wait. Can we just 10 years? Was that really?
10 years.
I'm sure that like for like a watch like that, you know, it looks like it's built to be
Yeah.
to
Like
last.
this thing has been through crap. And I have actually been thinking of getting a new watch, right? I have a dress watch that I wear, for interviews and things like that. But this is my everyday, go-to watch. It tells me the time.
Right.
And people, everybody's like, oh, I want to get this Motorola 360 or, the Samsung watch or something like that. And it's like, it's apathy. The watch does not do everything your phone does, and all it does is tell you to look at your phone for
It's-
most of things.
It's not supposed. So I have the 360,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna lie. At first, it was oh my god, it's a smartwatch. I want a smartwatch like that. Let me get a
Right.
smartwatch. That's what it was. And the first one I had was the original Pebble, and at the time it was expensive for what it was, and I returned it and I didn't like it. Pebble Steel,
I did too.
Pebble Steel came out, and I tried that guy out, and then I started to understand it. It had a nicer build, and at that time, the Pebble ecosystem had grown to a point where you could actually do more with it rather than just looking at notifications. And then it grew even more, and now I have the 360. And like you were saying, it's not meant to be a smartphone replacement. It's meant to stop you from having to use your smartphone, which I think
But
is
it doesn't do that.
it does, because the idea of me just having, I get close to, I'm guessing 400 to 500 notifications a day, because I have God knows how many email addresses synced to my phone, and it's emails, it's notifications from apps, it's messages, it's calls. I'm inundated.
I think you're in
With-
like the 1% for
Right.
notifications
Yes, you are.
per day.
Okay, 500 is a gross exaggeration. I'm
Well,
maybe 150 to 200 a day.
still,
Okay.
that's probably
let's
more than
call-
the average person.
Let's
though.
call 250 and over
Mhm.
emails and notifications a day something that is either you are a professional in your field,
Mm-hmm.
or you are like a high schooler who's sending that many texts.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, I guess I would be what you call an average college student. I'm sure you guys are too, except for Gotham, with his unknown email addresses.
Yeah.
And
Some number.
I get maybe 50 texts max a day.
Okay.
I
That's
put myself
not in-
around like 100, but
Yeah, so you see, you guys are more popular than me. So
no,
for me, it doesn't make sense to spend money on a phone or a watch, right?
Mhm.
That does not completely replace my phone. In that sense, have you guys heard of the Neptune Pine?
Yes.
That thing was, I read about it a long time ago. I was interested in it, and then I became disinterested in it. Because what it was designed to do is completely replace your phone.
Mhm.
Right? You would not need a phone with it. And that kind of was very interesting to me. That's the way I understood it. And it just, at the time, it was so cool, but the size made it
The size
unwearable.
was enormous.
Right? But, I mean, that's what, I have this is my HTC.
Mhm.
That is kind of what it wants to do. It wants to put this, like, right here.
Right.
You see? That's big for a watch.
I think
It's kind of big.
I think that what has to happen for, I mean, again, this is smartwatches specifically for in the category of smart devices. I think people have to be able to wear one to understand the draws to it. It's by no means a necessity. It's not even on the same playing field as a phone these days.
Yep.
But I think the draw to it is again, I mean, I don't want to sound stereotypical here or sound like I'm marketing these things, but
Nerd.
it's yeah, right. It's a lifestyle thing. It's being able to
so
look at your
how
wrist.
much was the Moto 360?
When I got
Like
it,
when you got it?
300?
too much? No, not that much. I think it was like 230.
250?
Yeah.
That's like $50-$60 less than a OnePlus One.
Right, and I mean that's
Which
the thing.
is-
So again, these are going to turn into tablets in the idea where people aren't going to upgrade these every year. This is going to be like a once in maybe 2-3 years up. Like you don't need a new tablet every year. And I think
Well, see, go ahead.
I think that's what it is. Like being able to look at your watch and say, this is a text or this is a call from someone that I don't need to like worry myself with right now. I'm gonna swipe it away and continue with what I'm doing. Or this is an important phone call that I otherwise may or may not have missed. This is an email that is, I don't need it. I don't need to address it right now. I think that's where it is. And yeah, like you were saying, it's mostly going to be for people in professional field where they are getting a lot of notifications. They're getting it. They're just being inundated with notifications.
Having your phone out at that point becomes a hassle.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And I-
pulling it out
I
500-600
will say
times
this:
a day. Is
the
a
Moto
problem.
360. If I were to buy a smartwatch
Mhm.
right now, that is kind of what I would want. It's elegant. It's simple. Right? It's
Do you
beautiful.
see the Huawei watch?
Sorry, say again.
The Huawei watch? Huawei?
Huawei.
Huawei.
Huawei, yeah. Because that one was gorgeous.
Yep.
I don't even know how to spell that.
It's
Huawei.
yeah. Huawei.
I don't know.
And yeah, it's a great looking watch, and I think people have to try one out to understand it. Just like how when the iPad came out, yeah, it wasn't the first thing in its field again, just like the Apple Watch isn't. But people said, "Oh, it's going to fail. Why would you ever need a tablet? It doesn't make any sense." And there was a big market for it. I think smartwatches are going to fall into the same thing. People are going to say, "Why would I need that?" The exception is the Apple Watch. You don't need to spend $500 on this thing. You can spend $100 to $250 on it and be absolutely fine.
That's true.
You don't need to spend that much money.
I think I like the idea of wearables. I like the idea of smart tech, except when it comes to security.
Yeah.
And I say this in the idea that, like, I'm not bashing any products here, but an electronic safety lock, a phone-controlled garage close, opener.
Right.
Heck, even my fridge. If my fridge can access Twitter, it also means that it can be accessed.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm not necessarily, like, I feel like I'm sounding older than I am. Maybe I should get a walking stick, but I like my doors having a deadlock on them.
Right.
Something that I have to turn.
Yeah. It's a physical barrier.
Right, and can't be turned from, some dude's laptop sitting in his car 500 feet away. And honestly, I'm probably never going to get fully into, like, a home automation thing. Yeah. Where I get, a fridge that tells me what it needs, or a lock that will close when I leave the house. Simply because I feel like it's unnecessary, and it only appeals to people who feel either comfortable having some extra security flaws in their home, or are extremely apathetic. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a nice idea, but it's not useful.
There's tons of security concerns in it, and I think it does come down to the type of person that you are. And I mean, I've been bashing on Apple here, and I'm going to say they're a great company. They have their customer base down, and I think that's where they get their draw from. But again, not I don't know where I'm going with this. I mean, it comes down to security, is what you're saying. Whether or not it's a watch, whether or not it's a fridge or a door lock or whatever it is, or a thermostat. It's at the end of the day, it's a security concern.
And I mean, going back to the drone conversation we had, a big problem with security in such an electronic world is, one, it's a specialized task.
Yes.
So if you own a drone and you spend $1,000 on this, somebody who knows what they're doing could spend $50 and take that from you.
Yep.
It's called GPS spoofing, where you block. You need, I think, 4 out of 6 seeable satellites up in sky to pinpoint a GPS location. And what spoofing does is they block 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 of these satellite signals and replace them with their own. So it shifts where the drone is and where it thinks it is, giving you control of it. Essentially, it's called GPS spoofing, and it's just that I don't want to have that possibility. So if my phone can close my garage, it is just as likely that somebody with a phone can open it if they know what they're doing. And suddenly, if everybody is getting these things, and you can bet your butt that somebody is going to learn, somebody is going to teach themselves how to open it.
Watchdogs, right?
Yep, there you go. And I mean, what you were saying about Apple is, like, I'll admit I'm a PC gamer, I'm an Android phone, but when it comes to tablets, I'm an Apple guy. Why? Because I haven't seen something that compares in size, function, and aesthetics as well. Maybe it's because Apple holds all the patents. Nobody can make anything without getting sued. Or, there you go, flat backs, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't even remember where we were. So
I think I don't know. I think in the middle of that sentence, I just kind of wanted to call myself out on bashing on Apple, because they make great products. I think what everyone in the tech community doesn't like is the limitedness of them, and the quote unquote dumbed down version of everything that they do.
Yeah.
But I think that for the general public that doesn't really care about features, about this and that, they want a phone or a device, a watch that just works, and they're willing to Jeez.
Pay.
The
for
premium
it.
for it. Yeah.
When I got my HTC One, I was actually debating going full Apple.
Mhm.
So my phone and my iPad and everything would sync up.
Mhm.
It sounds silly, but I mean, it made sense to me at the time. Like, I don't really use my phone much. I don't root it to anything special.
Right.
I use it, as a tool, less than a toy nowadays. And it's just honestly, it came down to what fit better in my hand.
Yeah.
Would I have liked it if if Apple let other consumers have flat backs?
Yeah.
But at the same time, Apple made a really good phone. They haven't caught up. Not entirely.
I think they haven't caught up in the tech community. I think in the normal world they're light years ahead of anything most
Well,
most
they've
companies
made
have done.
technology into almost a fashion statement
Yes.
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's a good
that's
way to
exactly
say
what they're doing with their watch too. I don't know how well it's working, but that's what they were aiming for with like the 15 grand gold version of it. And stuff.
I watched a commercial yesterday, and I think it was for the Apple Watch. And in the beginning, I didn't even know it was the Apple Watch. It was just a bunch of flash, and like you see people using it and sending texts, and it was like
Right.
this nice kind of picture they were setting up, and then they were like, yeah, this was all the Apple Watch, and I'm like, I see what you're saying. It's nice, it's elegant, and it's also unnecessary.
No
So
doubt. No doubt.
I don't know.
I think that's just the whole watch argument again. It's
Any
they're
adult-
Yeah,
unnecessary,
it's
but
watches in general, not just the Apple Watch. but
I
all
really
of
feel
the
like all of this
wearable.
wearable stuff
Mhm.
only comes to people who, like, as adults, we all have to budget our finances.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that this wearable technology only really comes to people who are ready to kind of lead the way into where you need wearable tech.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for the majority of the world, I think for the next, few years, wearable tech isn't going to be a necessity.
Mhm.
But
I
maybe
agree.
in a decade, your
Oh.
kids are going to need one for school because that's how their teacher lets them know that homework is done, like everything syncs, or
Yeah.
some weird stuff like that. You have a home computer and a school computer, and your phone is what allows you to bridge.
Right.
Something, way out, sci-fi thingy like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely it's an infant in its growth right now, and luckily, I mean, I guess we're in the heyday of the growth, and we're able to see a lot of things change pretty quickly, which should be interesting over the next coming years, I guess. But
Yep.
in any case, before we close up here, I just wanted to go down through this email and actually see how many email accounts I have.
All right, yeah.
I have my main email. I have the Zenith Media email account. I have my Microsoft account. I have a account that I use to share my calendars with people. I have a trash account which I send all my crap to, and I have my OSU email account. So 1, 2,
Jeez.
3, 4, 5, 6 email accounts.
I have 3.
Yeah, same here. I've got like my old one that I made when I was like 7.
Oh yeah, so I
That
have 7.
that I just have like everything on.
That's true.
And then I have my Gmail account, which I have everything forwarding to, and then I have my UC account.
I have a funny story. Is what I have. Back in the day when I used to play a lot of Xbox, I had the hardest time getting the password back to one of my Xbox Live accounts that I forgot. And it was because I was using an email address I had completely forgotten about. I set it up to be one of those email addresses that you send all your accounts to things you don't necessarily hear from every day,
Right.
nor do you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady, like, on the phone, I was on the phone with her for like an hour, and she was like, well, what's the password? And I gave her like my standard, set of passwords.
Right.
And she was like, all right, well, do you know what your email address was? And I was like telling her the only 3 email addresses I thought I ever used. And it turns out I had a 4th one.
Oh jeez.
And so
Totally forgot about it.
she let me know, and I was like, oh, in that case, I don't need any of your help. I know the password.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know what happened to that email address. I think it's still up. But that's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
I've probably got
first-
so many dead email addresses that I haven't.
My first password for my first email account ever was Ratchet and Clank. I loved that game. I
jeez.
loved that game. Oh jeez. I got that was a I don't even know what birthday it was, but I got a PlayStation 2, and that was the first game I got for it, and I was stoked.
See, I was never a PlayStation kid until I was able to buy my own game consoles.
Yeah.
It was always Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think the first console I had was probably a PlayStation 1. All I did was play Madden.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think that was like the only game out for it at the time too.
Jeez. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Alrighty. Well, in any case, that was the first in hopefully many installments of TechnoCola.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. I'm guessing that for the next one we'll keep a similar kind of topic. We ran a little bit over, in fact a lot of it over, but that's okay. Yeah, I think we'll keep the same topics, keep the same type of formatting. Let us know if you guys have any comments, and we'll integrate those into our next one next week. So that's about it. So if you guys want to go ahead and say your goodbyes and your thank yous or whatever you want to do, we'll go ahead and finish.
Should we have like a sign-off thing, like a?
See, I can't see you, but I can only assume you did one of those, like shooting the camera.
I did. I was
Yes.
just trying to get it to work.
That's exactly what
Jeez.
the image I had in my head.
I'm gonna say no.
I already did it. So
I don't know. I'm going to vote yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
you guys have to do it. I already did it. So do something.
Oh, no, please, God.
No,
I
I
don't
think
want
I'm
my
good.
own. I think we'll just let Goro do
I
it
think
every
we'll
time.
just let him do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
And you guys can hit stop recording.
Assholes.
That was the first recording of the TechnoCola podcast, recorded on May 16th of 2015. Now, since that was our first recording, there were a few technical hiccups throughout it, and the audio levels seem to have not been as well defined as I had wanted them to be. So stay tuned for our next podcast being released on May the 25th. This podcast is being officially released on May the 18th of 2015, so we're going to keep a weekly Monday release till further specified. We look forward to having you guys listen in next time. Thanks for listening, guys. Goodbye. Alright, guys, welcome to the inaugural... Fuck.
I hope you're leaving this in.
This will go at the very end in the bloopers.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go.